Hi, I'm Martine Harkin, a facilitator at Leading Teams, and this video gets you to start thinking about your priorities and potentially how you can reshape them that will lead to forming your self-talk and your personal trademark. So when I think about understanding your priorities, the first thing that used to come to my mind is how I spend my time. And there's definitely an overlay with time when we're thinking about priority. But I think for us, when we think about it, it's more about the energy and effort that you place on one thing, or I really like to describe it as what you water will grow. So I had a client recently talk about what his priorities were, funnily enough, and he hadn't really made the connection, but as he was sharing with the group what he had experienced, you could see the light bulb start to go on about where his priorities actually were, because he started talking about time. And he talked about the time that he was spending at work and the pressure that he was under at work. There was some conflict in his team, so that was really challenging. And he was spending a lot of time at work and it was impacting his family life. So I stopped him, and when we actually talked about the energy and the effort as opposed to time, you could see almost the colour drain from his face, and the idea that the energy and effort that he was putting in at work, albeit it was important. And this guy's got a really good story about how he has moved his way up through the business. He's been there a long time. He's now leading a team. So it's a terrific story. He's really proud of it. But when he actually thought about, over the last few months, the energy and effort that he was putting in to that work and the impact that that was having at home, he actually shared with us that his wife is thinking about leaving him. And so there's all sorts of drama with his family. And I think the piece around time versus energy and effort, I mean, everyone's got the same amount of time. So it kind of takes away a little bit of the control that we have, whereas we talk about energy and effort here because that's a choice that you make. And you choose the way that where you spend your energy and effort, knowing that, again, what you water will grow. What we've learned about when you identify what your priorities are in terms of your energy and your effort, it's really important to know that they can change over time. You would have noticed when you were doing your lifeline that you have different priorities, different perspectives, different experiences, and what's important to you over your journey can change over time. So that's really important to know. And we also understand that when you have an understanding of what your priorities really are, that you can choose to shape them if you want and change them. But it also, in terms of how it helps you be a better leader, it helps you to make better decisions. It aligns that idea of what your values are, what you really value, and how you spend your time. It brings that potentially closer together. So you're a stronger leader, you can make better decisions, and that obviously links to productivity. When you've got a good understanding of your priorities, it also helps you to perhaps reduce trying to spread yourself too thin. So therefore avoid things like burnout and sickness and illness. A few years ago for me, I was prioritising too much on what other people were thinking, and I wasn't trying to please everybody. It was more trying to avoid people being upset with me, and I was really trying to prove myself that what I was doing was good enough, because at that time I didn't think anything was. And it was funny because whilst that thinking started in terms of a work context, it ended up leaking into all parts of my life. So I got a bit stuck. Thankfully, I've got some terrific teammates who are really supportive. They helped me, they gave me some feedback. They helped me to reshape my priorities, really, in terms of providing some feedback. And I just happened to read a book at the time. Thanks, Brené Brown, for showing me that I wasn't the only person that had ever felt this way. It was really quite an isolating feeling. So all of those things went into the mix, and it made me stop and step back and really do this exercise about, so what am I really prioritising? And it actually linked for me around changing up my self-talk. And so these are all things that you've done as part of this module and these activities: shifting my self-talk, getting feedback from peers, reshaping my priorities, to shift from, it's not a not caring what other people think, because I really value my peers' opinions particularly, but it just helped me to have more confidence in myself and trust myself and understand that what I was doing in the moment at the time was good enough. I hope you enjoy the journey in terms of establishing what your own priorities are, and you'll explore more of that with Gav in the next video. Thanks very much.